Tour Junkies.
What's going on, golf addicts? Welcome to the Tour Junkies podcast for the Valero Texas Open. It's the DraftKings preview, the DFS preview. Your boy DB here, Pat Perry with me. I'm sipping that vodka. Pat, you still got that vodka?
Yeah, I still got that vodka. Going to
Planet
Planet Tito's this evening.
Getting ready for Masters Week, baby.
You got to prepare. You got to prepare the body and
Yeah.
the mind.
Yeah.
For
For
Masters Week, and Valero Texas Open helps us do that. So
yeah. And hopefully helps us get some green screen disease so we can get that green cup disease deeper at Augusta National.
Yeah.
When I say green cup, I mean that, the beer in the green cup, baby. You got to get green.
Hey,
thing.
look, let's pay attention to this week, because if you do well this week, your bankroll increases, and then you can just blow it out for the Masters. So we need to not just gloss over this week. We need to have a good week, everybody.
Facts. Let's get it. Pat, I got to tell you, when I look at the DraftKings pricing, it makes me want to do a couple different things, man. It makes me I'm not sure what I want to do just yet
I
because
want to touch myself.
okay.
And when I touch myself, it doesn't involve Rory.
What?
I don't know where that came from. I don't.
What triggered that?
I don't know. You just said I want to do things to myself.
I don't even know that song. Did I say that?
I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I don't know.
What is happening? God. Okay, it makes me want to. I'm not sure what I want to do because you say it doesn't involve Rory. I think it might. I think my lineups might actually involve Mr. Rory, the way you say it, Michael Rory.
I'm just saving all my Rory McIlroy love.
There we go.
I'm saving all that for next week. But you do what you want to do. You do what you want to do with Rory.
You know what? We should do a thing where, not tonight, but we should do a thing where whenever you give your picks in each range, you have to deliver the pick in a song or in some sort of song format. We should do that.
Yeah.
At some point.
Yeah. Well, some say I'm the songbird of
the DFS industry.
generation.
Yeah, for sure.
DFS generation.
Okay. I kind of like Rory a little bit. I do think that it's interesting to see him play here. He hasn't played here since 2013, where I think he had a top 5 finish, but not usually one to play the week before the Masters. But I don't know, man. I mean, like, he's clearly the class of the field. Spieth is Spieth. He's your defending champ. It's Texas, but if you look at his ball striking coming into this week versus his ball striking coming into this week, coming into like how he approached the Valero last year in 2021, it looks like what he looked like coming into 2019's Valero, where he finished 30th, which is still not bad, but it's not what you want out of a top tier price Jordan Spieth. So there's a lot of questions around what we do. Is it a studs and duds? Are we going balance? What are we doing? We'll get into it. As always, we're presented to you by our friends at fantasynational.com. That's where we go to get all our stats, all our ownership projections, lineup optimizers, recent form, course history, build your own model yourself to death if you want, all through Fantasy National. They've got it all, and all the data is licensed by the PGA Tour. You know it's good. It's that shot link data. Why do I say data and data? I think my brain just decides in that moment of how I'm going to say it. I say it both ways.
I never use data. Never. It does not even enter my mind. Data is the only way I say it.
I do both all the time. Anyway, Fantasy National, the place to go. FantasyNational.com/TJ is how you get 20% off any membership level that you choose there on Fantasy National. So you can do weekly, monthly, or annual memberships. Once let's say you try the weekly or the monthly and you love it and you want to upgrade to the full year membership or the monthly membership, you can do that and still save the 20% off. We've been using these guys for like 4+ years. It's the way to go. All the stats, everything we read off here is going to be from Fantasy National if it's data or data, one or the other. Yeah, so I mean, looking at the top of the DraftKings board, Pat, 9K and above range, we're gonna dish out 3 GPP plays, tournament plays in DraftKings. We're gonna give you a fade, and I'm gonna talk through a cash lock in each range as well, Pat, because there's still people that love to play cash. They
Okay.
love to play double ups and 50-50s, and that's how we
I can
started.
go along with that.
We started like that. That's a good fine way to build your bankroll if that's what you want to do. Mm.
Okay.
So I'm a little enticed by Rory. You're not. Um, Other than that, in this 9K range, I will say I know that there's going to be definite agreement on Chris Kirk at 9,400, although it seems like early indicators would point to him being potential
Yeah.
chalk.
He could be chalky.
Yeah. And then I think Corey Connors is going to be chalk. That's just the chalk report from me. But I'm going to go Chris Kirk and either the lesser owned of 2 guys right next to each other, right next to Chris Kirk, Gary Woodland or Keegan Bradley. I'm going to go the lesser owned of one of those and let ownership determine my fate. I tend to get Keegan right more often than I get Gary Woodland right, but both at times are an anomaly. So, but I kind of like a little bit of both, but I don't like either one that much more than the other. So I think I'll just go with whichever one is lesser owned, Rory and Chris Kirk for me. I do like Corey Connors, but I think Connors and Kirk are your 2 big chalk points, and I'll just save the cash with Kirk and roll with him. The fade is Jordan Spieth with the form that I mentioned. I'm not, the 10-6 price. I'm actually not going to do it, and I may really eat my words. But you know what? I've been fading guys in the top tier range the last few weeks, and they've been winning. So you should probably play Jordan Spieth. Okay, so that I'll say that. I will say that. I don't know what to do with Hideki. He's here. Neck pain, neck injury at the Players. I don't know what to do with that. I think I'd rather just sit this one out for Hideki. If he plays, great. I'll just watch him and see what I want to do with him for Masters. But I think for this one, I'm out. What are you doing up here up at the top?
Well, I can say this. Actually, none of the guys that I have as my favorite plays are over 10K. I do not have any of them. Um, I think Rory is a fade. I think there's going to be a lot of discussion about him. Now, I will say this: if I get Rory pretty low owned, then I could see me just throwing him in a lineup because I'm a sucker for Rory anyway, and I think he's going to have a good week at the Masters next week. But I'm going to fade him, and
I'm
I'm going to
probably
fade
fading him
everybody.
at Augusta. So I'm going to play him at Valero and probably fade him at Augusta.
Okay. I'm not feeling Bryson, not feeling Abraham Answer.
Is
Jordan
Bryson just here to try to is he just here to try to get into a little bit better form to Augusta? I mean,
I think he and Rory are both in that same situation, and but
but
not
Rory's
Jordan.
not been bad. Like Rory's ball striking hasn't been bad at all. I
But
mean,
I
Bryson
think but
obviously come up
Rory has never really played here, and I think there's
once, yeah.
yeah. So anyway, regardless of that, um, I'm with you on Chris Kirk. I think he is going to be chalky. Um, I'm not going to say I'll take the lesser owned of this guy or this guy, but my guy would be Gary Woodland if I'm gonna either pivot off of Chris Kirk or if I'm gonna play Chris Kirk and maybe put Woodland in the lineup with him. I don't know, but I do like Woodland this week at 9,300. He's been playing really well lately. I mean, he's
And
his
wait a
game.
minute. Now that I'm thinking about it, can we play a chalky $9,400 Chris Kirk? I mean, I know this is a weak field event, and it's one of those things where you got to get used to paying up for guys and seeing big price tags next to names we're used to seeing in the 7K range. But a chalky Chris Kirk at
I think
9,400. Now
if
that I'm
you
saying it out loud,
it could be like if you want to win a GPP, I don't know. Maybe it is a guy that you fade a chalk. I don't know. We don't know what Chris Kirk's ownership is going to be.
but let's hypothetically, let's say Chris Kirk is 20%. Do you play him at 20%?
That concerns me a little bit.
What if he's 17%?
Probably still playing.
You still play him at 17%.
I don't think 20 and over to me seems like a little too much for him.
I think I would bet You need to bet him now at BetMGM. We just gave that tip on the betting show. He's at 40. Was he at 40-1?
40-1 on
40-1
BetMGM.
on BetMGM.
It's not going to be that number for long.
He opened at 37 on FanDuel. He moved to 34 on FanDuel, and he opened and he's remained at 25-1 on DraftKings. I know this isn't the betting show, but the play may be, if you like Chris Kirk now, bet him on BetMGM now, if you can do that, and then be prepared to fade him in DFS, because I think
So you're basically hedging, because if he
you're
wins,
hedging a little
if
bit.
he wins, you still would want to have him in DFS also.
You
So,
would, but
I
Chris
mean,
Kirk, $9,400 Chris Kirk at 17, 18+% feels like a textbook fade.
it does, and he did miss the cut at the Players, and so who knows? Does
Is
that?
he on the bad side of the draw though? Because
I think he was, but I can't remember now. It's been too many weeks. But before that, 2 straight top 10 finishes on 2 difficult golf courses. But I think, regardless, whatever, I still like Chris Kirk this week.
yeah,
Regardless of whatever, all the details that we can get into here. But I like.
it's good conversation, Pat. These are questions the listeners are going to be asking
I
themselves.
know. I'm just trying to move us along here instead of just talking about Chris Kirk all night. But here, I like Chris.
You don't have any ad reads tonight. We got plenty of time.
It's good. It's good for me. I like Corey Connors though a ton this week. I think he is going to be a little bit chalky too, but I will play him in GPPs, and I love him in cash. I love Corey Connors in cash, so he's my cash play.
Kirk or Connors are your locks for cash. Like, if you do
Yeah.
anything other than Kirk and Connors in cash, you just shouldn't. You should just delete the app altogether, because that's the play. Those are the plays.
Yeah.
Kirk or Connors in cash. Pat, we do have some other things going on this week. We do have that. I do want to say this in the comments. Are you gonna what is too high ownership for Chris Kirk? Like, when are you gonna fade Chris Kirk? Also, we are gonna be playing some golf together next week. Me and Pat are playing twice together. One day we're gonna be playing with the winner and his son of the Prize Picks Road to Augusta Challenge. We're gonna be playing Monday at Champions Retreat. We're also gonna be playing Wednesday with 7 South Korean gentlemen. Excited about that. Unsure whether any of them speak English or not. So picture me and Pat hungover and possibly continuing the hair of the dog treatment with
There is
7.
100% chance that I am hungover. I don't know about you, but there's at least
I
100%
didn't say
chance.
possibly hungover. I said hungover and possibly continuing the festivities into the Wednesday golf round with those gentlemen.
Somewhat. I may here's what I may do, because I'll probably start, since we're playing.
We're going to be playing a bunch of golf together, me and Pat, next week. And, we need if you would put your preferred song, just one song, give us one banger song for the playlist. That would be great.
Could I add to that?
Yeah.
Maybe if you do that, say, like, this is a banger that you think DB would like, and this is a banger that you think Pat would like. Like, you
Okay.
don't have to do both, but you can just choose one. You say, hey, Pat banger, so and so. DB banger,
Okay.
so and so.
Okay, I like that. All right. Let's get into the 8K range. Before we do that, Pat, why don't you tell us what's going on with you this week? Because the Corn Ferry Tour event is at the Landings right there in your gated backyard at your own home golf course. And you and Garrett Simmons, our Corn Ferry Tour podcast host, are going to be doing a show together. And what else you got going on?
Yeah, so yes, the Corn Ferry event is. So I'm going to be on the show. It's going to be a brief. I'm not going to be on the entire show. This is Garrett's show. So, but we are going to have a special guest. I'm not the special guest. It's not me. We're going to have a quick special guest who's got a good story. I'll throw out this teaser. He has a connection with Club Pro Guy. I know a lot of people follow Club Pro Guy on Twitter and whatever else. So I think that could be interesting as well. So it's going to be a good week here, and looking forward to that. I think if Garrett, there's a lot of pressure on Garrett this week. He's got to hit a winner this week.
Yeah.
And it's probably on me too. But this is a week where we should hit a winner on this show.
We've been very starved of winners, except for Crazy Marcus, who
Yes.
finally, I mean, how long has he been writing the LPGA article? Finally gets back-to-back LPGA Tour winners. Marcus, is he in the chat? I don't know. What numbers were those girls at, the last 2 winners he hit?
Probably
Anyway,
5-1 because he had not hit any. So he was like, I'm going to take
neither one of
5-1.
them were Nelly Corda, so I don't think
Yeah.
they're 5-1. But every week you can go to tourjunkies.com and read Marcus's LPGA Tour article, and it's a very short read. It takes you about 44 seconds because he writes at a first grade level. And the last 2 weeks, he's won. Okay, here he is. 60-1 and 25-1 are the last 2 winners. It's a free read. It's easy to do. And he does study this stuff. He just doesn't know how to communicate it, but he studies it and he stalks
I don't
all
feel
these
like you're
girls on
giving him enough
Instagram.
credit. I don't think you're.
Oh,
I
shut
think
up.
it's
You're
more.
an apologist because he's on your team for the Dolphins.
I just think you should at least give him 3rd grade level as opposed to 1st grade level.
3rd grade level in what school district? What area of the country are we talking about? What state ranking in education are we talking about? I'll give him 3rd grade level in like the bottom 14th percentile state.
I don't want to throw any states under the bus. Okay.
Mississippi. Okay. So anyway, Marcus's article killed it. That's only winners. Like we need winners. I've not had a winner
Well,
since Luke
you are
List.
such a like. What have you done for me lately? We just hit winners like all year, and then we've had like a 2 or 3 week lull, and
I'm like I'm the Dave Chappelle,
yeah,
crack on my lip like gif. I gotta have another hit.
I mean, we've hit more winners than anybody else in this space.
Have we? I don't know. I mean, we've hit 9.
I'm just saying that, but
Yeah, we are.
nine this year.
We've
That's
hit
not
9
bad.
outrights. Yeah. Okay, well, let's move on then. 8K range on DraftKings is what I want to talk about next, Pat. I really like this 8K range. Going to have some decisions to make. A lot of those decisions probably going to come down to ownership because this is an ownership game, people. If you're playing GPPs, it's an ownership game. It's going to come down to ownership. It's going to come down to possibly weather, wave, and draw because we do know that the winds of Texas and San Antonio can blow. And right now, it doesn't. It looks like Thursday is going to be pretty mild, but Friday could get a little iffy. So we're going to want to check that out. But you got Adam Hadwin at 8,900. He's playing really well right now. Johnny Vegas could have won in the Dominican Republic just this past weekend. Luke List is back. Davis Riley, Russell Knox, Charlie Hoffman, Mito is here. Patton Kazire and Texas boy Ryan Palmer rounds out your 8K range. Pat, what are we doing in the 8K range with some of these boys?
All right,
Who we playing, who we fading? Who's your cash lock here?
Well, I really like this range,
I
actually.
do too.
I think
Love
there's a lot of guys that you can play in here, but I'll give you a few. I like Hadwin at the top at 8,900. A guy that's been playing very well recently. I think he's got top tens in his last 2 starts. Yeah, T7 at the Valspar, top 10 at the Players Championship. He did get, I believe, the good side of the draw. Pretty much everybody that got a top 10 did. If you look at the stats for Adam Hadwin, though, he's top 20 in ball striking. He's top 10 in strokes gained approach. Also, top 10 in good drives gained. I think that's an important stat this week. If you
Yes.
go to your course history, or not course, but your course preview, you talked about that a good bit. And I think you really need to listen to the course preview, and the off the tee stuff is important this week. So I like that for Adam Hadwin pretty much across the board. And then putting, he's a great putter. He's 20th in the field over the last 100 rounds in Bermuda. So I think Adam Hadwin makes a ton of sense this week, not only for his form, but his stats. So I would play him in GPPs, and he's also my cash play this week. And then Johnny Vegas is another guy that's just been, hanging out, playing well, seems to just have everything going well for him. He's another guy that's a box checker. I mean, he is 6th in the field in ball striking. He is 5th in birdie or better percentage, top 25 in strokes gained approach, 2nd in par 5 scoring. Remember, they're going to have 4 par 5s this week. I think par 5 scoring is another important stat that we should talk about. So Johnny Vegas at 8,600, I like him a lot here.
Did you just say, remember, they're going to have par 5 scoring? Did I catch that? Or did I just run that through my head?
I
just look
don't
that
know.
up.
I thought I said remember it's a par 72, so they're
Oh,
gonna have
maybe that's what it is. I thought you said remember they're gonna have par 5 scoring this week.
yeah they're gonna
This
score
would
on
have been a
par
great
fives
line.
this week either way. I don't know. I could have said that. I don't know. For fades, this is a tough range to fade. But Charlie Hoffman is a guy who has incredible history here. I mean, he won here. He finished back-to-back runner-up in 2019 and 2021. And remember, they didn't have this event in 2020 because of COVID. So basically, back-to-back years, he finished in second place. But Charlie Hoffman is not near the golfer right now where he was then. So if you're
Why
just
not? Like, what happened? Was it
I,
the was it his sought it the what happened?
I feel like he's a Saudi guy.
He's
Like
out there salting
I could
around.
see him. He's Saudiing around, like talking to all the oil companies in Texas and whatever. I don't know. I don't know what
No
he's
time
doing.
to hit balls or anything.
He just
His ball
he's looking.
striking is awful.
It's
Awful.
awful. He's looking for money. I don't know, but he's not going to play well this week. I do not believe he will, even though he's got great history here. So Hoffman will be my fade. But I love this range. Like I could make an argument for a lot of guys in here.
Yeah, I want to sit on this range for a minute because I agree. I honestly I'll tell you the guys in this range I will not play under any circumstances. Okay. Charlie Hoffman, agreement there. And Ryan Palmer. Honestly, that's it. Like I could be
I thought you were going to say Mito.
No, I don't mind Mito. I definitely tend to. I'm probably not going to end up playing him because if he's anywhere, if he sniffs 15%, I'm out.
Is Mito not one of the most overrated golfers this year? I bought into it early on. I bought into it. Fully admit it.
I don't think you did actually. I honestly think we were one of the few Now we get real jazzed up about a lot of players, and we have googly eyes for guys that we shouldn't. But Mito was not one for us. This podcast has stood firm.
I don't know. I feel like you're giving me too much credit.
No, I'm not. We've stood firm and we have held our ground. And we like Mito. I like Mito, okay? Okay. But we have not schlobbed the Mito knob the way that the rest of the DFS industry has done.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to start today. I'm not going to start today, Pat. But I do like him. I do think he could be okay here. I'm not going to play him if he sniffs 15%. I'm just not. But the rest of these guys, you can make a great case for, and I like a lot of them. I think Hadwin, you mentioned right off the top, is playing fantastic. Streelman's starting to kind of hit it good again, and this is a place for Streelman for sure. When you look at past champs here, he could knock on the door. I like some Luke List, baby. He's checking plenty of boxes here. I think Luke wants to get, really find some form leading into Augusta. I probably wants to stay away from Augusta right now. The week before his hometown, the craziness, all the above. Like he'd probably love to spend 4 days right here in Texas, just focusing on the game, playing well, being confident, finding some rhythm, and then coming to Augusta and treating it like any other tournament week. I think that's there for him. I love Patton Kizzire here in this range. I think Kizzire is a solid play. What is he? $8,000 T9 here last year. He's been playing solid. I like a lot of guys here. I can't really pick one. I think now I will say this though, Pat. I want to talk through this too. We're going to spend some time here on this 8K range. Davis Riley. I want to talk about Davis Riley. He's at 8,400. When I first saw that, I went, wait a second. Okay. This is early in the research process. I went, wait a second. 8,400 and Matt Naismith is 7,100. And these two guys battle almost. I mean, Naismith almost made the playoff. What was he? One shot shy of the playoff at the Valspar. But was in the final group with Davis Riley. They went toe to toe down the stretch. Davis eventually gets into the playoff with Sam Burns and loses when Sam Burns drops a massive putt on him. But Matthew Naismith was right there, and honestly, Naismith has been playing arguably better than Riley has, right, this year. Like if you look at their finishes and what they've done, I would say Naismith's probably been a little better. And yet Naismith is way down here in the bottom 7K range of DraftKings. Like, why is that? And so I'm doing some digging and come to find out, Pat, in 2020, the Corn Ferry Tour had to reschedule some things and actually hosted 2 events at TPC San Antonio. There are multiple courses here. One of them was hosted at the Canyons course, which is a Pete Dye design. And the other one was hosted here at the Oaks course, the Greg Norman, Sergio Garcia design. And your boy, Davis Riley, won the Corn Ferry event hosted here at the Oaks course. So I'm thinking that may be what has led to, you know, shorter numbers on the betting odds, shorter numbers or higher numbers on the DraftKings board for Davis Riley over Matthew Naismith. But I think it's too much. Like Riley is close to me to another fade in this range just because I think the price increase coming after that, coming off of that playoff loss, maybe a touch too high. I mean, before that playoff loss, it's not like he's been the most consistent guy out there, right? Like he's not, no top tens other than Bermuda. So he's got 2 top tens since he's been on the PGA Tour: Bermuda in October and the Valspar. And that's it. And the Valspar, he gained 7 strokes putting, which we've never seen him do in his short career. So what do you think? I mean, I know you like him. Do you have anything to say to that?
No, I mean, I think, yeah, it's great.
Okay. Oh man,
That was
how's
a
the
lot.
Tito's? Is the Tito's good?
Yeah, the Tito's very good. It's been a long time since I've had Tito's during the podcast.
I was gonna say if you stop after since I've had Tito's, I will say you are a liar because you have it all the time. You
No, I
just
meant
don't
like,
have it in the podcast.
yeah, I have it now. Sunday when we do the live podcast, did you talk about that earlier?
No, go ahead.
Yeah, so this Sunday we're going to be recording, or it's going to be live, the podcast for the Masters at DB's, yes, David Barnett's house.
Yeah.
And it's going to be lit. I'm very excited about it. I feel like we have some fancy stuff going on for this show.
Yeah.
But I don't know I don't know what it's going to look like. I don't know if we're going to be on a couch. I don't know what, but
Yeah.
I'm going to be I'm probably going to be having a Tito's. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe I'll have tequila.
We're gonna be on a couch, and it'll be the Sunday eve before Masters Week, Pat, our favorite week of the year.
Mm-hmm.
We will be together. My house will be empty, just us and our one of our helpful producers. And it's going to be a lovely evening. So you do not want to miss the Masters shows live on Sunday. DFS and betting show that night. A lot of Masters content is going to start rolling out. We've recorded a lot already. Starting on Thursday of this week, you'll start seeing some Masters content dripping out on the YouTube channel and on the podcast feed as well. But yes, Sunday night, those 2 shows you're not going to want to miss, and be a part of it live because it's going to be great. We want you a part of it.
Yeah.
Anyway, what were we talking about? Hey, speaking of Masters, I didn't say this, Pat. I didn't tell the DraftKings show this. There are some of you that you only listen to the betting show, or some of you that only listen to the DraftKings show. I don't know. A lot of you probably listen to both, but I am going to have a busy week this week, and it will limit some content for the Valero. We will not have a chalk bomb this week. I'm sorry. We're not going to have a chalk bomb email this week. Now, we are going to have Pat is going to be doing the Fantasy Golf Sommelier video, dropping his prize picks for the week. I'm excited about that after a 2-week hiatus. That's awesome. But no chalk bomb, okay? Because starting tomorrow, I've got to get up from this Tito's hangover I'm going to have, and I've got a practice round to go caddy because I will be caddying in the Augusta National Women's Amateur, Pat, for Ye Lee. She goes by Angelina. She is a golfer at Stanford. She's the 16th ranked female amateur in the world. Played here last year for the first time in the Augusta National Women's Amateur, finished 15th. Our buddy Kyle Peters, who caddies for Mark Hubbard, was on her bag. He couldn't make it. He gave her my number. I tried to talk her out of it. She refused. So I am her caddy, and I will be caddying for her on Wednesday and Thursday, the first 2 rounds at my home course at Champions Retreat. And then on Saturday, if she makes the cut, which we plan on it, top 30 make the cut out of 70 girls. I'll be caddying for her, walking the ropes at Augusta National. It's going to be a pretty crazy week, but that means practice round tomorrow, round 1 and round 2, practice round Friday at Augusta, and final round Saturday at Augusta. I could be caddying 5 days in a row. I've not done that since 2008 when I caddied at Augusta National. So it's going to be an interesting week. I'm going to be busy. It's going to be a lot of fun. Look out for me. I'll be out there. I'll be doing my thing. But Ye is a good player. She's very sweet. I've had some good conversations with her. She's the best. Yeah, Marcus needs to give us the scoop on Ye Lee. She's a good player.
Are you worried at all that during this whole process during the week that you're gonna be first? I mean, you're gonna be right there watching her play.
Yeah.
Like, is this gonna hurt your game and your psyche? Because this girl is gonna be able to hit a lot better shots than you can hit, and she's probably gonna hit. She may even hit shots as far as you think you can hit it. Like, you think you're a long golfer, but maybe like
You would love that to be the case, but Pat, I've already
like maybe she's hitting a 7-iron where you were hitting a 7-iron, and like you're gonna be like, okay, I don't something I
Okay.
just
Can I stop you there because you're just going to keep babbling? No, that's not going to happen. I've already
I
gotten
feel like
her.
it is.
Okay. So last year when Kyle caddied for her, I said, Kyle, can I have the yardage book? Because Champions does not have a yardage book. And this yardage book was done by the people at the National. Like, I would love this as my home course. And he gave it to me. So I have the yardage book. On the first page of the yardage book, Kyle wrote down all of her distances, all of her carry distances for all of her clubs. And I've looked at them. And she does not hit it farther than me. She hits it farther than you, but she does not hit it farther than me.
But see,
Now,
I wouldn't go into it with that expectation.
will she be amazing? Yes.
Yeah,
She will be.
yeah. That's what I'm saying. She's gonna be so good that you're gonna be like,
I am not thinking about that for me, dude. I'm trying to make sure I give this girl all the information she needs. I help her make great decisions. We have a great time, and we make the Saturday round. That is all I care about. I'm not going to
okay, good. I don't want your confidence to be, down going into the listener event in September. When we have Team Pat and Team DB, and you're just going to be,
No, I'm going to learn from her. I think she's going to make me better because I'm going to see how she attacks a golf course, how she thinks through a golf course, how simple she makes it.
She probably thinks around a golf course like I do.
No, she doesn't. I can't wait to see her tempo. I'm going to get at least 4 days, maybe 5 days of just watching her like tempo. And I feel like just watching
tempo's good. Tempo's is underrated in golf.
I feel like watching that will really I want that to like seep into my pores and so that I can have that.
I'm all for it.
Yeah. Thank you, man. I appreciate your support. I can feel it.
I'm kind of going up and down with my support. Like I
Yeah,
support you, but then I don't support you. Like there's part of me that wants you to be totally mind effed after this whole.
Oh, that's awesome.
Well, because I don't want you. I want to. Team
sport.
Pat is going to beat you in the listener event, which is in September at Mountain Valley in a fantastic golf course. We should all be there.
What are best friends for? Oh God. I mean, forget it. I mean, what about her, Pat? Like, have you thought about her? Like, maybe she'd like to win the Augusta National Women's.
Oh no, I care a lot about her. Here's what I want is to see you on TV struggling.
Wow. Okay.
Like, I mean, struggling, like, in, like, I want to see y'all, like, get in an argument. Like, you're like, hey.
Wow. Wow.
Because that's good TV. That's like, hey, you think Michael Greller and Jordan Spieth, who dominated Augusta National, they don't get in arguments?
That's what I'm going to tell her. I'm going to say, listen, you want to win this? You know who's won this before? Jordan Spieth. You know how he won it? Arguing with his caddy, pissing and moaning after every shot.
Well, he was pissing and moaning, not Michael Greller.
No,
you have an even keel personality. This is a lot of talk. I hope you get on TV. I really do.
7K range. Okay, can we get to the 7K range, please? Here we go. 7K range starts out with a couple of guys that ain't from here. You know what I mean? Robert McIntyre, Bobby Mack, little lefty Bobby. Starting to round back into some form that we saw him have last year leading up to Augusta. Rasmus Højgaard got here by top 10 at the Punta Cana event. Sahith is up there. Ricky Fowler, 7,700. We talked about him on the betting show. Doug Gim, Texas boy, is here, 7,600. Martin Laird, former winner of this event, 7,500. Who else? Chad Ramey, who just won the event at
Yes.
Corrales, 7,300. What do we think about that? Dick Bland is here at 7,200. Alex Smalley at 71, who had a good week at Corrales. I've already mentioned Matthew Naismith, 7,100. Anyway, let's talk about
Do
the
you think
7K
it's
range.
funny that Sam put all the empty boxes on there? I like the symmetry on this. I like the symmetry, but then I also wonder about the empty boxes. Like why we had to have all the empty boxes.
What was it you texted me about the other day that was like, I hate that? And it was like about odd numbers or something. I was like, are you
Yeah.
freaking shitting
But I
me?
like the symmetry that we have going on here. Anyway.
Anyway, Pat, let's talk about picks. We talked about Fowler on the betting show ad
Yeah.
nauseum,
I
but
like him
do
in
we think,
DFS.
do you like him better in DFS? You didn't
Yeah.
like him outright as much.
I like him a lot in DFS this week.
Me too. I'm going to
I
play him.
don't, if you're betting him, yes, he obviously has to win as an outright. I don't think for you to have a good week in your tournament plays in DFS, he doesn't have to win, but I think he could have a good week. And Ricky Fowler is coming around. He's finished top 20 in this event the last 2 years. Even when he hasn't been, as good as he was. So I think at 7,700, Ricky Fowler makes a lot of sense here as a GPP play. And, the ball striking's coming around. The scrambling is coming around. He's 35th in the field over his last 24 rounds. Off the tee, 31st. So I like Ricky Fowler there at 7,700.
Yeah, I already mentioned Naismith. I love the value on Naismith at 71. I like that a lot. I also love the value at 7,300. I'm telling you right now, Nick Taylor, to me, he's slowly becoming one of my favorite golfers. Let that sink in.
He's consistent as hell.
He is so consistent. And every week for the last how many years? We've been doing this 7 years. Every week, he doesn't change in price. He just is always. Has Nick Taylor ever been 8K? Has he ever felt the glory of being 8K in DraftKings? Has anyone ever said to him walking down the fairway, "Well, go in my DraftKings lineup, man. I spent 8K on you"? No, I don't think he has. He's always 7 or 6K Nick Taylor. And his average PGA Tour finish is constantly T33, T37, which is great for a low 7K guy that he makes cuts. He's just always there. He feels like just old reliable, old faithful. What's something reliable in your life? Put that in the comments and share it with us. That's Nick Taylor. And
Yeah.
I'm with it. I'm with it. I will have him in every line. I wrote down. I'm looking at my writing. My cash lock in the 7K play in the 7K range is $7,300 Nick Taylor. Book it. He will make the cut. He will not be the reason you have 5 of 6 or 4 of 6 in a cash lineup. He will make the cut.
See, I had Naismith in that cash area as well as GPP, but I don't mind Nick Taylor. You know what?
I mean, I love Naismith, but I mean, he's still a young gun with some inconsistencies. He's not proven like Nick Taylor in terms of the consistency, but the upside is definitely greater, for sure.
Well,
What did you want to say?
I need to talk about this guy because I feel like this guy. You talk about Nick Taylor being solid and a cut maker and everything else. This guy that I'm about to talk about gets no credit. He gets made fun of by you, I think, and others that I can't name or don't remember. But I think we need to give this guy some credit.
Is
It's
it Dick
70.
Bland?
It's 7,200. Brian Stewart.
No, F him.
How can you not give Brian Stewart any credit, but you can talk about Nick Taylor? Here's Brian Stewart's last 5 events.
Pear-shaped ass. I'm not.
No, I don't care. No, you are biased against Brian Stewart because of his name. And I'm going to tell you this right now. He finished a top 10 at the Honda Classic. The next week, T22 in Puerto Rico. The players he missed the cut probably had the bad side of the draw, so I'm going to throw that one out.
Yeah, because the only way we could possibly imagine Brian Stewart
See,
missing the cut at
because
the
yeah,
strongest field in
a-
golf is because he had the bad side of the draw.
probably.
Brian Stewart.
But then what did he do at the Valspar? T16. And then he goes to Corrales and finishes in the top 10 at T7. Brian Stewart deserves more credit than he is getting this year for the way he's playing, and I'm tired of it. I'm starting the Brian Stewart back just bandwagon. I don't care how old he is. I don't even know. I don't know how old he is. But I'm tired of people disrespecting Brian Stewart, and I'm going to play him this week at 7,200. I'm tired of it.
Fine. You know what we need to do? Spin the bet wheel. Brian Stewart and Nick Taylor sounds like the spiciest head-to-head.
That's the best
we've
I've had.
ever
That's the
had
best
in this.
head-to-head we've ever had.
That's
Yes.
the best head-to-head we've ever. That's the best head-to-head we've ever had. Producer Sam, get the bet wheel queued up. We're spinning the bet wheel. Now, by the way, Pat, you've lost the last two at least. And you owe us.
I'm on a bad run, so
you owe us the Applebee's TikTok.
The Applebee's TikTok is coming probably for the Master Show. We'll get to see it on the Master Show.
Are you practicing? Because
I gotta
be honest. I looked up the Applebee's TikTok dance video, and I think it's more complicated than the Jackson Mahomes dance.
Well, because Jackson Mahomes, you can sort of like do some things that you know. But this one, I actually have a little bit of a choreographed routine too. I feel like. And it's gonna be golf oriented, but we'll see if I can pull it off.
Well, we really need it for the Master Show, so you need to make that happen.
All right, so this is a tough one because like this is anybody's game here, but I
got our ratchet bet wheel.
Yeah.
All right, so we need to set the rules here. Are we just going head to head finish here? Best man wins. DraftKings point scored.
I mean, they're right there together. They're both. I mean, you got a little advantage by 100 because Nick Taylor's, but whatever. We're just gonna go head to head here. It doesn't matter.
Hey guys,
love it. Yeah. Yes, sir.
We do have the shrimp from Denny's triple space now on the bet wheel.
Oh my God.
Okay.
The Denny's shrimp bet.
Yeah.
Got it. That was okay. I'm surprised he hasn't been mentioned yet. All right, that's the triple space right now.
Yeah.
And you have to go. What do you just have to go to Denny's and video yourself ordering the shrimp platter?
Either that or you have to. I thought it was takeout and you eat it during the show.
Okay, well,
we'll do that.
Either way,
it's like the closest Denny's to me is literally 30 minutes away.
Wow.
It's forever away.
Well, just get it and bring it home, and you got.
Sorry, guys, I didn't have my research done.
I don't even know where the Denny's is.
Hour in the car getting Denny's. All right, does Denny's deliver to your island, Pat?
Okay, I know, probably not, but I can figure it out.
Of course not. You're like, no. Of course not. Okay, spin the wheel.
Sam just snorted. Sam.
You sound like Mr. Howell from Gilligan.
What the hell?
All right, you ready?
Yeah. Here we go. The loudest bet wheel in the DFS streets is
double ranch water.
All right, it is what it is. The wheel double ranch water.
Wait.
Stop.
Shrimp from Denny's.
Stop. No, it was double ranch water.
Yeah, but then it moved on its own. You said
All right, just shrimp from Denny's.
It's shrimp from Denny's.
If it loses, there's a chance we could get the shrimp from Denny's for the Masters show, and you eat it on the couch.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, I hope you like shrimp, Pat, because Brian Stewart is not beating Nick Taylor. I can guarantee you that. Hey, if you're
what does the chat think? I'm not even like. I don't even
know if they're paying any attention to us. Yeah. Man. I don't think anybody's watching, honestly. Let's keep going though through the 7K range because Nick Taylor. We've talked about some cheap guys. Another guy I like, and it feels ageist to not like him at this point because he's checking all the boxes and he's a previous winner here. But it's Martin Laird. Mm-hmm. Do you know that in the last 24 rounds in this field, he is 6th in strokes gained approach and 1st in good drives gained and 9th in ball striking here at wherever we're at, TPC San Antonio. Martin Laird, 7,500. It's one of those names that you click and you're like, ugh. This is not sexy. This doesn't feel good. I could probably do better. It's a lot of what, Pat's ex-girlfriend said for a long time. But in the end, he's Mr. Consistent, and he could do it. He could surprise you. So I think Martin Laird is another piece of value down there. He's a little piece of meat down there. You could have 7,500. I like Sahith Theegala up top, and I like Matt Kuchar up top. I talked about him a little bit in the Prize Picks segment on the betting show, but Sahith is ready to go ahead and win it. You know what I mean? I mean, he just is. And Kuchar's surprising. I mean, he's great here. Kuchar is great at Valero. Loves this place.
Coming off a
So, I
16th
like both
place
those
finish
guys.
at the Valspar too. So
I think my fade in this range is Chad Ramey. And I think, you know what? 7,300 for Chad Ramey, a guy who just won his first event, is great. I think that's good. Like, I mean, normally we get a much worse price for a winner the week after, but I mean, a rookie after his first win in the Dominican Republic, where there's a nasty stomach virus going around everywhere, caused multiple withdrawals. I think I'm out. And he can't seem to do anything when he's not at an alternate field event. He finished 5th at Puerto Rico, 1st at Corrales, and he sucked everywhere else. So I think, I think Ramey.
Well, it
coming
is
off
a
the
weak
win.
field event, so you could say that he does good in a
True.
weak field. But here's
True.
the thing. I'll say this: I'm ticked off that I didn't put him on my betting card for the Corrales because
Me too.
I talked about him,
I
and
was all over the leaderboard too.
yeah,
all over the leaderboard.
but I talked about him a good amount in the Nut Hut. So, by the way, if you're not in the Nut Hut, get in there because not only we're going to talk the main event that week, but if there's an off event, we're going to talk that as well. Because last week we had 2 chats: Tuesday night for the match play, and then Wednesday night for Corrales. And I'm pretty sure I was a big fan of Ramey. And he ends up winning the event. I wish I'd put up on the betting card. I did not, but still, I do. Whatever.
So frustrating. You got to do better.
Yeah, I do.
Yes, better.
Couple others I'll say. Alex Smalley at 7,100. He was somebody I mentioned on the betting show. I do like him. Finished second last week at Corrales. Has played, pretty well all year long. So at 7,100, I think he is a good play. I'll tell you my fade. Lanto Griffin.
Oh,
and you
yeah.
mentioned
AC said we talked up Ramey a lot, and he was in the lineup that you built with AC.
Okay, so yeah, that's right. So thank you, AC.
The lineup me and AC built for the Dell match play sucked. But I know that you and AC build a Wednesday night lineup together, and apparently Ramey was in it. Good job, guys.
Yeah. So, but I didn't put him on the betting card. That's on me. But I'm not liking Lanto Griffin. It's interesting because you talked about.
Dare you?
Huh?
How dare you?
I'm sorry, but you talked about Martin Laird. They have the exact same record in the last 3 events. Martin Laird and Lanto Griffin. T52 at the Arnold Palmer, miscut.
They're
At the same
buddies.
2 events. So they're like cart buddies. Yeah, you're right. But I think Lanto, I don't know. I'm not feeling him this week. And
he's gonna win. I'm just kidding. He's not. But
anyway, there you go. All right. Should we move to 6K? I feel like we've been.
Let's move to 6K.
I don't really have many for the 6K. Maybe I forgot to look at it.
I got some sneaky sneakers here.
Oh, look. The board is even, like on the left side and the right side, the same amount of players.
Oh, wow. Look at that. Yeah, I like a handful of names in here. I mean, obviously it's got to get narrowed down before we, and we'll get narrowed down. We'll get it in the Nut Hut. We'll narrow it down in the Nut Hut. All right, people. A couple names, well, more than a couple. Some names that catch my eye. Right there at the top, 6,900. Minwoo Lee, bomber from Australia. Good win player because he's from Australia. He plays Australia. You're born windy. When you come out the womb, like literally as soon as you come out the womb, they're blowing in your face. They're already going, and you're already used to it. And
they got like hair dryers in the room.
Yeah, they got hair dryers and oscillating fans, all of that. David Lipsky at 6,900. I've been on Lipsky for a couple weeks now, and he's playing well. I mentioned the 2 Korn Ferry Tour events they played here in the summer of 2020. David Lipsky won one of them at the Canyons course here at TPC San Antonio. Your boy Davis Riley won the other one. I like Lipsky right now. I like where he's at. So I'm gonna go with Lipsky. I like 2 guys in the 6,700 range. Actually, no, sorry, 3 guys in the $6,700 range. Spawn. Now, Spawn doesn't have a good record here, but he's never come into this place hitting it like he's hitting it right now. He's playing very well, hitting the ball well. Grayson Sigg hitting the ball well, doing his thing. 67 is still a great price for Sigg. He's making a ton of cuts, a ton of top 30s. We're just waiting to see Sigg like get in the hunt on a Sunday. Hadn't happened yet, but I think it could be happening. Doc Redman at 6,700. I want to look at something with Doc real quick. Let's do a little diving in with Doc. Let's dive in with Doc. Missed the cut at the Corrales Punta Cana, but I'm pretty sure now I got to pull it up on my phone because of course we don't get any strokes gain data or anything like that from the Fantasy National on that because the tour doesn't put it out. Let's see. Doc missed the cut by 2 shots, by 1 over, whatever. Okay. But when you look at it, he didn't play terrible. He didn't have any big numbers. He was tied for 3rd in driving accuracy. He was 6th in greens and regulation in his 2 rounds. Like, he just didn't putt or chip very well. But what's happened with Doc, what we've seen with Doc is the ball striking has started to kind of come back a little bit. A little resurrection of the Doc Redman of old. And the Doc Redman of old has played here 3 times. He's finished 44th and 39th a couple times. I'm sorry, finished 44th. He only played here once, Valero. But I think Doc is an interesting buy low kind of guy at the moment. And he's very low, like I said, 6,700. Because he still hit the ball fine at Punta Cana. So I like that. And then I also like what I say, JJ Spawn, Grayson Sigg, Doc Redman. Yep. And then I'm getting real cheap here, man. Real cheap. What's his name? Oh, yeah. Paul Barjon and Lee Hodges. A couple guys going back to those Corn Ferry Tour events who played very, very well. I think Barjon had 2 in both of those events at TPC San Antonio. I think he had like top 5s in both of them. Hodges played well in them as well. Hodges had some good finishes on the PGA Tour. He's at 6,500. There's some names down here to pay attention to. Lipsky is probably one of my favorites. Sigg is probably one of my favorites in terms of just cut making value. But there's some good ones here. Hagee, his irons have been coming around a little bit. I like Hagee. This is what I was talking about at the top. Like, I like Rory, and I like a lot of names on here, so I know I can kind of get with it. I also love the 8K range, and I love the balanced approach here. There's a lot to figure out for me personally in terms of how I'm building lineups before this thing's all said and done.
All right. Well, I'll give you a few that I like here. One is a guy that I think a lot of people played last week and got burned on, and so I like doing this to myself, and maybe it's like torturing yourself. But I like going back to guys that I was on last week that burned me, and I'm going to go back to Adam Svensson.
You're into self-harm.
Self-inflicted wounds, but I'm going to go back on Adam Svensson there at 6,800. He checks a lot of boxes though when you look at the stats, and he's had a lot of good events on tour this year. You go to a good field like the Honda where he finished top 15 there. So even though he missed a cut last week, burned a lot of people who loved him. I think Adam Svensson is a good play there at 6,800. Also, I like Kevin Chappell. He's at 6,700. He's a guy who's won this event before, gradually making his way back into form after a lot of medical issues. He started off bad last week at Corrales. I mean, he was like 4 or 5 over on his front 9, I think. And then he just like loaded down the birdies after that. Could have probably won the tournament if he hadn't started so bad. So Kevin Chappell at 6,700, I think just the way he finished last week and played well, I like that a lot for him. Another guy I like, Hayden Buckley, has played well in good spots this year. He's at 6,700. He's top 20 in the field in ball striking, top 10 in good drives gained, top 10 in strokes gained off the tee. I think Hayden Buckley could be another good play here. So those are just 3 names that I like. I think there's a lot of 6K guys though that you can go with.
There are. I mean, I like a lot of them. We got to do our 2-minute min lineup. Before we do that, I got to shout out our Nut Hut Listener League winners last week. At UK Man and at Diego Blazers took down the Dell Match Play and the Corrales event. I finished third in the Corrales event. I thought I had it taken down, and then my guys didn't do very well. So shout out to those boys. They get a seat in the final at the end of the season for a chance to win an opportunity to come play golf with me and you for a weekend in Savannah or Augusta. That'll be a good time. You want to do that? Don't forget to leave a comment. Banger, on course song for our playlist. Me and Pat playing a lot of golf. Who do you think it best suits, DB or Pat? Put that in the comments, please. And like and subscribe on the YouTube video if you don't mind, please. If you're watching, just hit the like button. It takes a quarter of a second. Just hit the like button, knock it out. If you're listening on podcast, give us a 5-star review. That would help us a ton. It's an easy way, a free way. It just takes a few minutes of your time. That's an easy way you can say thank you to us. Give it 5 stars, write a very nice review. That would help us out. We appreciate it. It's going to be a great Masters week, great Masters content starting to come out on Thursday of this week that we're pumped about. The Sunday night shows are going to be awesome. That's going to be fun. It's going to be an awesome week. But, we're going to get the green screen disease for the Valero. Okay, Pat? Before we do that, before we get out of here, let's do the 2-minute men and build a little lineup here, shall we? Let's see if we can agree on some guys for the Valero Texas Open. 2 minutes. We're building a DraftKings GPP lineup, trying to take down a GPP. That's what we're doing, Pat.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Producer Sam, you may start the clock. I'm guessing I can't talk you into any Rory.
No.
All right, so we going pretty balanced here. Are we going to? I cannot play Connors and Kirk. I cannot eat all the chalk. If you give me one, I will play
What if
one.
we just go down and start with Gary Woodland?
God, are we seriously doing that?
Yes.
I don't want to start with Gary Woodland.
All right, well, who do you want to start with?
Let's do Connors. Let's go ahead and eat some chalk with Connors.
Okay.
Then what do you think about Kazire?
I like Kazire this week, so I could go there.
What about Sahith?
Nope.
Kuchar?
Cooch I could go with.
Fowler?
Fowler I could go with. I'm not giving you all these.
I mean, I'm just naming names. You're not naming any names.
All right, let's go. If we go with Fowler, that leaves us 8,350. How about we go up to Riley or Vegas?
Whew.
Or what if we drop down?
I can't do Riley.
What about this one?
Spit it out. We have 40 seconds.
Just be patient.
No,
Doug Gim. Doug Gim.
Ugh. Yeah, I'll do it.
Okay, that gives us up to 9,100.
Hadwin?
And let's go Hadwin. I like that.
There
Leaves
it is.
200 on the table.
Oh, no, sorry. Oh, yeah, Kuchar. Oh, yeah, okay. Is that it? Are we done?
Yeah.
No, what do we have? Oh, yeah, there we go, Kuchar. All right, Corey Connors, Adam Hadwin. That's your chalk right there. Patton Kazire, Matt Kuchar, Ricky Fowler, Doug Gim. The 2-minute men lineup right there. That's it. Yeah, I don't think we did too bad there. We didn't eat too much chalk. We went pretty balanced there as well. It's a balanced approach.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take it. All right, there we go. Listen, let's have a week. Let's build the bankroll for the Masters. May your screens be green. See ya. Out.
We're the tour junkies. We're the tour junkies. PGA Tour fanatics, golf addicts, podcast juice, you gotta have it. Special guest, DFS, DB, and them long shot bets. From Augusta to Sawgrass, we got your picks, we got your stats. Catch a bus, catch a laugh, sip some rose with Pat. Tour junkies.